The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar. And I'm joined this afternoon by Anna Hoff, and she will be presenting the test lead of my dreams. And following this webinar, we will be heading over to Test Huddle to look at the questions that you have. So if you have any questions for Anna, you can just type them into the forum discussion that she has created. And I'm just going to share with you now a link to this discussion. And you'll see there now that there is a link in your chat for the chat section there on your control panel. And this will bring you directly into the Test Huddle discussion. Or also, you can also just Google testhuddle.com and click on the slider. That'll also bring you in there. So I'm now going to hand you over to Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hi. So good afternoon and welcome to my presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about the test lead of my dreams. And we'll see if I can start my slides. Here they go. My name is Anna Hoff and I live in Sweden, southern parts. And I work at Knowit as a test consultant. I do both testing and test management. And my current assignment is as exploratory tester at Click in Lund. And I will do this presentation out of a tester's point of view, because a lot of times when we talk about test leads and test management, we talk from an organizational point of view or a process point of view, but I want to talk about it from a tester's point of view. What do I, as a tester, appreciate in my test lead? But I'm going to start with a definition. What do I mean by test lead? We talk about test lead, we talk about test managers and testers, but exactly what do I mean by test lead? So we start with the testers and the developers that is a part of the team. And on top of that we have some kind of dev lead. And we have what I mean as a test lead. And then we have a project manager that keeps everything together. And a test manager for me is a person above that that works with test and quality issues over several projects and not just within one team. So it could be a lot of bigger issues and you need to be like everywhere when a test lead needs to be concerned about the team they are involved with. So my opinions about what I like in a test lead is that they are a member of the team. In some places where I've been, there's been a distinguishment between test leads and the team. The test leads have not really been a part of the team, but in other places the test lead have been incorporated in the team just like all the testers. And that has worked extremely well because you have a short way of communication. You build up a relationship between the test lead and the testers, so it'll be easier to communicate with each other and you feel more secure about what's going on and what's is there any problems. Another thing is that I think a test lead should be a gatekeeper. And by gatekeeper, I mean there's a lot of information coming into the team from other places in the organization, in other projects, in the same projects, from other teams, from management or wherever. There's a lot of information and work going on that maybe the team doesn't need to bother with until that work is ready. So I want my test lead to be a gatekeeper, to keep me updated on things that I need to know, but please keep all the other maybes and in progress and things that I don't really need to know about right now. Keep them away. Or if there's a bigger problem or something, don't make me nervous about it if I'm not going to be a part of the solution. I also want my test lead to be my coach. I want a test lead to be able to encourage the team to be better, encourage the team to do things different when we find out that it isn't working. I want that person to motivate the team so that everyone feels committed and excited about what we do. And this requires a lot of skills from a test lead, and sometimes you feel you don't really have time for this, but I think it's very important that you coach your team to become extremely good. And if you're not a part of the team, this part will be very hard to do. At the same time, I want my test lead to be an administrator is not exactly, or record keeper is not exactly the best words to describe it, but it's the best that I could come up with. But what I want to do is, want to say is that I appreciate when a test lead can take care of a lot of test management stuff, like moving and reorganizing, making summaries, making documents, but also to keep track on decisions so that we can follow up and actively follow up on those. In many occasions, I experience that we have a very good meeting, we make decisions, and we hand out action points to people, and then no one follows up on anything. In a very, very good team, we don't have to have someone to keep track of all of this, but those teams are very rare. So you need someone to actually push for that these things are executed and not just becoming something we decided on a meeting but didn't do. I also want my test lead to be a problem solver. Sometimes you face problems during your testing and you feel like you have no idea what to do with it. You have no idea how to solve it, or maybe you know how to solve it, but it's not in your hands to do it. Then you want the test lead to take that issue and escalate it for you, because you cannot stop your testing to solve some bigger problems. So, and not everyone, not all the testers can run and escalate everything up to higher levels. So you need some kind of help from your test lead to pick up the problem and escalate it or solve it. And of course, if the test lead sees some problems or some areas where problems might occur in, it's very good if you get the help to solve those problems before they become really serious. And of course, I want my test lead to be a leader. I want it to be a person that I feel comfortable with, someone I believe in, someone that is committed, someone that can make me feel really happy about what we do and excited about what we do. Someone who is a role model, but not, not standing in front of the team, but more standing behind the team and like letting the team take the glory, but pepping the team to go that far so they get the glory. But then what about other issues? Yeah, there's a lot of other issues that you can think of when it comes to test leads. And why haven't I mentioned test knowledge? Of course, it's easier to become a test lead if you have test knowledge, and you need to have some kind of test knowledge, because otherwise you won't be able to coach your testers, and it'll be harder to understand exactly the mission on what we're doing. So of course you need some kind of test knowledge, but I think that if you take a really good leader and that become a very good part of the team and who can communicate a lot with people and coach, then test knowledge is something that you'll learn. You'll learn enough. And it's the same with technical knowledge. I don't demand that my test lead knows everything that is technical There are a lot of people in the team probably that knows a lot more than both me and both more than my test lead. So my test lead don't need to have all the technical knowledge. The knowledge that we need to have is the knowledge where to turn to get the answers that we want. Stress management. Test lead could be a very stressful position. I have experienced a test lead that was stressed all the time. He was running around and being stressed. But he always had time when we came with questions. So I was never worried about anything because I knew that he would cope with everything. He radiated security even being so stressed. What stresses me instead is the kind of stress where my test lead doesn't really know what they're doing. I had another test lead that came running to me every 5 minutes and asking me, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" And we had all the testing in an online system, so he could very well go into the system and see the progress, but instead he was keeping running for me and asking, "Are you done yet? Are you done?" And he was my test lead for 2 weeks, and I've never been so stressed my whole life. So that was a completely other way of stressing. So I don't think stress is bad, all bad, as long as it's the good stress that you're, and of course it's very good if you can handle it. Communication skills, yeah, you need that. If you don't have communication skills, you won't be a leader, you won't be a coach, and you won't be able to keep us from the information flow on a good level. Metrics and reports is a very big part of a test leads every day, but me as a tester, I don't really care. And I know it might seem controversial to say that I don't really care. Management care, of course, and I will provide everything I can for management to feel secure about testing. But for me, as a tester, it's not really important that my test lead is very good at this. This is something that is important from management side. So, so for me, it's good if my test lead writes very good reports, but for me as a tester, that's not that important. Coordination between teams. Depending on the way of your organization and project looks like, coordination can be more or less. And I think that it's every team member's responsibility to know a little bit about what the other teams are doing. It's no good if I need to go to my test lead, that goes to the other team's test lead, that goes to talk to their testers, and you get the information back. I think the coordination between teams is just as much my responsibility as it is for my test lead's responsibility. And my last point is planning. It's good if my test lead is good at planning, but I as a tester want to be highly involved in this. I don't appreciate when someone else does all the planning and just tells me, "You're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this." I want to be a part of it. I want to understand the vision. I want to understand the scope so that I can do the best possible work. So it's very good if they are good at planning, but I think the team will support this as long as all the other issues are solved, like being one team, being able to communicate, and having a good time. And that was all I had to say about that. So I hope I will see you on Test Huddle, and that you will have a lot of good questions, and I will be there and hopefully answer some or join in on some very interesting discussions. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much for that presentation, Anna. I'm going to open up my screen here again, just go through one or two more slides before we head across to Test Huddle. And I just want to make you aware of another webinar we have taking place at this time next week. And this webinar will be with Michael Bolton, and he will be presenting a new agile testing ecostream. And let me just share with you once more the link for the discussion for this webinar. If you click on that link, now you can head across to Test Huddle. And on Test Huddle, then we can look at your questions and you can give feedback on presentation and share your views. It'll be interesting to see what traits you have outlined for your ideal test lead. Thank you once again, Anna. And the webinar is now over. We'll see you on Test Huddle.